Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hey, my name is Caylee, and if you're a returning subscriber, what's up? We're back with the podcast. Like, it's been a long time that I haven't done a podcast, and honestly, I really don't know what's been the hold up or like what's been holding me back this whole time. So, but it's okay, we're back and we're better. Let me actually check when the last time was that I did a podcast episode, and also I have a lot of new updates. My last podcast episode, and honestly, I was really going to just retire the podcast in general because I was kind of like, like I'm not really feeling it. But now that I'm back in the groove and I'm here actually doing a podcast video, I just miss it. Like, everyone knows that I'm a certified yapper, and I feel like I'm in my element when I'm just talking. Like, I don't know. So the last podcast episode that I did was a story time 5 months ago. It wasn't really a podcast if you were to ask me. So the last real podcast that I did was I'm feeling unmotivated, and that was, it's not even on YouTube. I think I took it off YouTube, and it was just on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like all those little platforms. I'm feeling unmotivated, and that was 8 months ago. So a whole pregnancy ago, dating near, was the last time that I did a podcast episode. And I honestly, I was feeling really unmotivated with the podcast because I just felt like it was getting nowhere. But the point of a podcast is not really to go somewhere. It's kind of more to get mental clarity and finally get things off your chest that you feel like you just can't talk about. And since not doing the podcast, I have felt just so bottled up. There was a lot of just emotions and a lot of things that I haven't been able to really dish off and really talk about. And I feel like the podcast is just gonna serve as the perfect, we're gonna rebrand for 2026. And Lightning's Perspective, it's not really called that anymore, even though I say it on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Spotify, when I'm hey guys, and welcome back to Lightning's Perspective. My YouTube channel is not called Lightning's Perspective anymore, but I think I want to rebrand into Lightning's Perspective because I really just like the name and the original emphasis that I had behind it, Lightning's Perspective. Maybe Caylee's Perspective, but I like that kind of gist of just it being my perspective of life. I really just like the meaning that I had originally behind Lightning's Perspective and just everything that was going behind it. If you guys don't know, I started a self-help podcast about 2 years ago in 2023. I started a self-help podcast called Lightning's Perspective, and since then I feel like I've gotten a lot more educated and just a lot better when it came to public speaking because of my podcast. A lot of the just all of those sound effects that come with public speaking sometimes, I feel like they really went away. And also just the filler words because I know I use a lot, and it's gotten better. Not even just because of the podcast, but because I've just tried on my own to not take as many breaths when speaking, or if I do breathe, to just not make you be to where I'm cutting it out constantly. It was just really annoying. Also, since the 8 months ago and even 5 months ago podcast video that I filmed, I did also get a camera, which is the Sony ZV-1F, and I just love this camera. And I feel like we just came a long way. We came a long way from filming on my phone with another phone as my mic, to then getting a little mic, to then getting this mic, to now recording on a camera, which I really don't need a mic for, but I feel like I just like it for me just because it's just more I feel like the audio is just a lot more crisp. This podcast is just kind of new beginnings. That's what I'm going to title it. New beginnings, catch up with me, get into the new year with really an emphasis, because I want to post this either New Year's Eve, which is today that I'm recording it, or tomorrow for actual New Year's Day. And while I'm recording this, I actually have a lot of things that need to get done. We're going to segue into YouTube. For me, I feel like this past year, YouTube has really been my outlet and just something that I used and still use to kind of lock in. Throughout the summer is when I really started locking in to YouTube. I started to record videos 2 times a week, post videos 2 times a week, and and with YouTube Shorts too, I really used it as an outlet, and I love that for myself. But when school started, it was kind of slowing down, and I kind of lost mind on why I even do YouTube and why I did podcasts. And somewhere along the way between 9th grade year to the summer of 2025, I kind of lost why am I even doing YouTube? I'm not monetized, I'm not making money from this, I don't really have a support system behind it, I don't have really a lot of subscribers, I don't have a lot of this, a lot of that. And I kind of lost, I was what is even the point of doing YouTube? So I took a break from ninth grade year, like towards the end, and then during the summer I picked it back up. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna lock in this summer. I'm gonna post 2 times a week. And honestly, looking back, I could have done more, I could have done better, but what was holding me back was the fact that I was recording on my phone and I didn't have enough space to really record as much as I felt like I had the potential to. So now that I have a camera and I have an SD card and it has a lot more space and storage, it's gonna be a lot easier for me to record more videos at once, even if I haven't edited them or uploaded them to my laptop. That's another thing, my laptop started running out of storage because I would just put everything that was on my phone straight to my laptop, and you know, it was ending up running out of storage between schoolwork and like my laptop is literally like, it's my YouTube thing and it's also for school. So it's like I had to leave storage for my schoolwork. I couldn't just leave it all YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I had literally 1,000 excuses, but not one good reason as to why I could not continue doing my podcast and continue recording YouTube videos. So for that, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. YouTube will always be here. And during the summer, I really begun to pick it up and I started to record more and being more consistent and all of those things. And then finally, once sophomore year started, that's when I like started getting into my groove of doing YouTube and being in school at the same time. And in the beginning, it was like low-key kind of hard and I really didn't know how to balance it. As you can see, like if you go back to like how consistent I was, but I feel like now I'm in a space that I am very, I would say, consistent in YouTube. I'm uploading multiple times a month. Just got back into the groove of shorts. I took also a very long break from doing shorts, which shorts was like my subscriber gainer. Like I literally gained 70% of my subscribers came from YouTube shorts. So for me to have abandoned that, it was just like, it was kind of like, it made me realize, I feel like me with YouTube kind of resembles my state of life and where I am in life. When I'm not consistent in YouTube, you can tell that my life is kind of just like, okay, like, you know, I'm not consistent with myself, not really taking care of myself, not taking care of my space. But when I am consistent with YouTube, it's like, okay, that's how you know, like I got my stuff together. I'm really, you know, I'm on a roll. And so for me, YouTube is kind of like that. It helps me kind of put my life into perspective, which is why I really love the name Lightning's Perspective, because it really makes me think, and it just, you know, like it's just kind of like that. While a lot of people are like, YouTube really overwhelms them, and it's like, you know, for me, YouTube is just a spot where I can really just lash out my creativity and put everything out on the table. And I love that about YouTube. Like this podcast episode that I'm filming right now, it's not scripted. I literally am not using my phone. I don't have any kind of mental notes or piece of paper, nothing. Like everything's just coming straight from the dome. And I love that. Life has been, it's been a lot, you know, life has been a lot for everybody. There's a lot of new updates that are coming into my life that I will talk about on the podcast. Like this podcast is a very real podcast. I'm not here to sugarcoat and just give you advice. Like my life is not perfect by any means, and I could take all the advice in the world. But since we're on the topic of advice, and I know I said this video is not scripted, but I do have some advice that I always write down, like my favorite advice that I get throughout the year, and I just like, I like to read it. I don't know. So it says, I'm putting it in the air now that 2026 will be the year I lock in and maximize my potential. And I also put that as the quote or like the caption of my last YouTube short, which would be my last YouTube short for the year of 2025. So I'm gonna do like 3 of my favorite advice that I got this year, because I get advice all throughout the year, not even just like from people, but just from watching videos. The first one is going to be, what you're not changing, you are choosing. If you don't like your environment and you're just complaining, you're like, I don't like this, I don't like that, you're choosing it by not changing it. You are not taking actionable steps to change it. Now, there are scenarios where you don't like your environment, you're doing everything you can to change it, but you're not choosing it because it's not moving, just because it's not getting anywhere. Like, you know, you just gotta trust God's plan, do everything that you can to change it. But if you can't change it, like you gotta find a way to push through. And it is hard. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's not. You know, I'm figuring that out for myself, how to push through things that I cannot change, that are out of my circle of control. So it's hard for me to get advice on that. The last one that I literally have been living by, and you guys will know more about just how much I really have been living on this, like really living by this quote. More later into the new year 2026, I'm gonna begin to be more open with you guys and tell you guys more about my life. But one of the things that I have really lived by since, I want to say summer, yes, since I started really my consistent push with YouTube, I have lived by YOLO, which is you only live once. And I always tell myself that YOLO, YOLO, literally like once a week at least. I tell myself you only live once. And when I tell myself this, I mean, like, if you see something that you really want to start, but there was 1,000 reasons, like for instance, some people want to start a YouTube channel, they don't know why, they don't know how, they don't really have the guts to do it. YOLO, do it. You only live once. You'll never know if you never tried. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So do it. Okay, of course, if it's something risky that is life-threatening or safety-threatening or anything like that, you don't do it. But if it's certain things like, should I approach this person and become their friend, or approach this person because I think they're cute, you do it. Like, you only live once. And I told myself that, and great things and great people have came out of that. What we're doing for the New Year's, because I'm Haitian, right? And everybody know, well, not everybody, but if you're Haitian, every Haitian person knows that New Year's equals soup du monde, which means that we're going to be eating that soup or drinking that soup for the next however long it lasts. But they make a big soje of it, which is basically a big pot of soup du monde, which I think it's like pumpkin soup, I don't know. Okay, yeah, a big pot of it, and you give some to your family members, you give them some of your soup du monde, you take some of their soup du monde, and it's kind of like a soup du monde trade across the whole Haitian family. But yeah, and I really like it. I really love soup du monde. It's my favorite soup ever. Literally, fun fact, it's actually the only soup that I really drink or eat, however you want to say it. There's also another Asian soup called bouillon. I'm not really a fan of it, okay? Soup du monde though, that's my girl, that's my thing. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be drinking soup du monde for literally the whole, probably January, if I'm being honest. But I'm super excited for this new year because I'm going to be getting my permit in March. Like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, literally 2 months. In 2 months, I'm getting my permit. I'm sorry, my license. I currently have my permit and I'm getting my license. I'm just so excited and so happy. Like, so many great things. I'm not gonna lie, so many bad things are happening in my life, but then I just gotta think about all the great things. And this podcast, like after doing this podcast when I'm just having a long rough day, it just really puts me into perspective on how to be grateful in life and just, like, you know, appreciate all the beautiful things that are in life. And honestly, if I could end this podcast episode on just advice to take, is to focus on the beautiful in life, focus on the great in life, because everybody, not just me, everybody is going through their battles. No matter how great you think somebody's life is, everyone is going through their battles. But you know why you think their life is so great? Because they focus on the positive. They focus on the beautiful. When everyone's like, oh, don't compare yourself to Instagram people because this is their highlight reel of life. No, they are focused on the positivity when they're posting their content. That's why you don't see the bad days, because they're focused on the positivity. Now, when you do find the people who post, you know, things that are not so great in their life, it's because they want to show you that, you know, life's not all butterflies and rainbows. But if you can focus on the butterflies and rainbows, then it will reflect on how your life is. Okay, so when people are, you know, just a way to turn that negative saying that, oh, it's just their highlight reel, into a positive. No, they're just focused on the positive in life. Okay, because if you look on my Instagram, you're not going to see anything of me crying, of me being sad. No, you're going to see me doing great in basketball. You're going to see me happy on my birthday, on whatever, you know, because that's what I try to focus on in life. And I feel like that reflects beautifully in my life. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. I could really use it. Comments, I could really use it. Without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next podcast episode. I promise it will not be in another 9 months.
Don't make money, then it don't make sense. She ain't getting in my car if it don't got sense. I be trying to dodge a block.